Hello? Okay, I think the audio is working now. Alright. I think we're good. Yep. And desktop audio, hopefully that's alright as well. Volume I think is fine. So we're good. I'm a little quiet. Okay. Can increase my volume. Hello. Hopefully that's good. Yeah. Waiting for confirmation. Taking our time as I see more people joining us slowly. Still quiet, but better. Well, maybe Destiny Gray, you need to increase your own volume. Maybe. Not entirely sure. I mean, this is the volume it's usually always been. Actually, it's a little higher because I increased it already. Still quiet on your side too, Dickron82. Okay. Let me see if there's something on my side maybe that's causing these things. Open volume mixer. No, I don't think that's it. Sound settings. Microphone. I don't know. Let's switch back to the NVIDIA broadcast. Microphone input. And then, of course, microphone. There you go. Delete that. Okay, so now it's coming through. But I don't know if the volume is good enough. I don't know if the NVIDIA broadcast source instead of the Razer source directly has a difference, makes a difference in the volume, but I don't know. I can still increase it from my side, I guess. Put it to the maximum. All good? Hopefully, all good. Yes, no. What's happening? Okay. If it works, then great. I don't know. I'll approach the microphone to my mouth a bit. So hey, hello, welcome. We don't have many people who joined us yet because we kind of just started the stream. People kind of trickle in slowly, but I think we're ready to start talking about our dev update. I should look into the camera. Hello. We'll talk about our year in review. So, like today, we're gonna be talking about a bunch of things. I just got the notification from Twitch that we went live. We'll be talking about a bunch of things, such as yesterday's. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago. We did a pretty big update on the Forge, which was kind of the culmination of the whole month's work. So we'll be talking about that update, what it brought to you all, and hopefully you'll be enjoying quite a lot of these features for years to come. We'll also be talking about 2022 because this is our last stream of the year. 2022 is finally ending. It has been a pretty tough year for so many people, unfortunately. And I personally am happy to see it behind us for the most part. But yes, it's the last of 2022. It's our last dev update. We will be seeing you again in January, hopefully, with a new dev stream for 2023. But this is the last one of the year, so we will be doing a year in review. So just talking about generally what happened on the Forge. We're not going to get into as much detail as we usually do, but just kind of seeing the path that we've taken over the year, what kind of big changes we've brought you, and what happened in general in the Forge. So that's going to be really interesting. And then, as usual, we'll be doing our giveaway. As usual, it's a $20 gift card that will be given to someone in the Twitch chat, and we'll be doing that after our Bazaar showcase, which we always do as well. It's just showing some of the latest packages that we are selling in our Bazaar marketplace. And showing you kind of the stuff that you can do with it and what's really interesting. So maybe you'll want to check it out and potentially grab something from the bazaar for your own games. All right. With this little introduction out of the way, we got a little bit more people joining us, and we'll be starting with the year in review. So 2022 for us has been quite a year. We spent a big chunk of it mostly on smaller iterations. So one of the things I believe I said that last year is that I wanted to slow down the pace of development that we've had at the Forge because we've done amazing things and we've brought you so many features so quickly, um, that it was, as great as it was, it has caused a little bit of clunkiness to start slowly creeping in. And I wanted to stop that sort of pace and just slow down and fix what we have, clean up the interface, small improvements, small quality of life, um, and just making the site look a little bit better, adding some tooltips, adding more documentation, and just improving things in general. So lots of small iterations, polishing the website, and just fine tuning various features that we've had a lot of feedback over the years, of things that needed to be improved, needed to change perhaps, and we finally took the time to just take care of those things and just improving the site in general. So that has been kind of the mission for 2022, to just go ahead and improve the user experience, make it as seamless as we can, as nice as we can, and as polished as possible. Um, so there's a bunch of changes. Obviously, we're not going to go through them, but we have video on demand for our previous monthly dev updates, so you can always go back and watch those and see kind of the month-to-month evolution of the things that we've done. But just in general, we've improved various things, making installation of premium content from Foundry easier for users, improving the account page, and changing our navigation bar, doing all sorts of changes to just make the whole thing better in general. So yeah, there's that. Now we're not only a cool website, but we also have a cool and polished website. And the Forge is obviously still the best service out there, and we are continuing on that mission. So 2023, we are still going to continue doing that. Still more polishing to be done. We're not finished with that. That will take some time, but we're still going to be doing it. But I'm very happy with the progress we've made so far already. Another thing that we've done was the update for V9, as well as V10 recently. That has taken quite a bit of development time from us as well, especially V10 that had many, many break-in changes that took some time from other development to just concentrate on making sure that the V9 to V10 upgrade for our users is as seamless as possible. And I think we've done a really great job with that. And there's, tools that we've developed. There's all sorts of things to make that as nice and easy as possible. And I think the migration went really well. Kudos also to the Foundry team for their own work doing that migration for V9 to V10, making it as easy as well on that front for the users. And we just took it a step further by doing what we do best here at the Forge. So yeah, we did that. Big update. The addition of two-factor authentication. We added that ability for users to enable two-factor authentication. We definitely recommend users do that, as it adds security. It definitely improves security for you to not lose access to your account by someone who might, use your password if you share passwords with your websites, which you shouldn't do anyway. But yeah, two-factor authentication is definitely something that we recommend, and we did develop that and release it in this year. Reminder, if you do enable it, do keep a backup copy of your codes in a safe place so you don't lose them and you don't lose entire access to your to your account in case you lose your phone or some other reason that makes the two-factor authentication unusable for you. One thing that we released as well is the Forge demo world, which you can already access. Let me show you here. discover, live demo, and here you can, launch and access our demo world. You could do that before, but now you can also install this from the bazaar into your account and explore it as a GM, seeing what we've done, how we built it, how we did the automation, and how it works just in general. So this is pretty cool. We've worked a lot on this project. We call it the curse because there's so many things that could go wrong, and they all went wrong every time. Either it's module incompatibilities, a module that we depended on that got abandoned, or just as soon as we manage to get something working, there's the new Foundry update that breaks all of the macros that we use and things like that. So it's been quite a challenge to get in that. But we've worked on improving things on it, so that when V10 came out, we were able to move it to be V10 compatible quite easily as well. So this is cool. It's now supporting V10. We've updated just this week the Forge demo as well to use the V10 latest release of Foundry, and it's available for you all. So that's really cool. I'm going to take a little break from my list of changes to see if there's anything here in the chat. Twitch. No? Okay. All right, let's continue then. Another big thing in 2022, we have done our second big hiring phase. We've hired a couple of people, talented people that have joined our team. We are still looking to hire more people, so if you see changes again within the next few months as more people are joining our team. You might see that in our About page. We've also celebrated the 1-year work anniversary for a few of our team. So you have Varstal, you have Iron Monk, and you have Phi, all three who started around the same time, about 1 year ago, September, October, November. During our first hiring phase. So we just very recently celebrated their 1-year work anniversary. So yeah, that's really cool. And you can see now, after like a whole year, you can see the fruits of their labor, and you can see all the things that they've worked on. Some of them have been working for a long, long time on some of those features or some of the work that they've been doing. And you can finally see those things being released now after all this time. So that's really great. And now with the new team members, you're also going to start seeing these changes happening on the Forge and new projects and things moving along pretty quickly now, hopefully. So very, very exciting. We've also done a launch of our blog. So you can see our adventure log here, which is our blog. You can see, developer updates, our announcements for Black Friday. Translating the Forge is our latest entry from today, actually, and we'll be talking about that later in this dev update. It's really interesting, and there's lots of really cool stuff with internationalization that we'll be talking about. But yeah, we launched our blog, so that will let us, announce various things or share interesting news about the Forge. We've talked also recently about our DDoS attack that we've endured in the recent months, and I'm also working on some more technical post that talks about some of the stuff with regards to the server setup, some issues we've had encountered and how we fixed them and things like that. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm not that great at writing big updates and things like that, but I'm doing my best here, and there's going to be a blog post hopefully soon, probably in January, because I'll be taking some vacation time very soon. But yeah, I'll be talking about some more technical aspects on our load balancers and some issues we've had to deal with in I think May or April or something like that. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting article to read. So I would recommend, if you're into that, to just click on the RSS feed and just subscribe to the RSS feed of our blog to just get notified of any new articles and things like that. Hopefully, also in 2023, you'll see a little notification so we can actually let you know if there's an update to things like that, or service announcements, or things of that sort, without you having to go to the blog page itself. So that's not super high priority, so it might not be coming very, very soon, but it will be coming in the next few months, most likely. So this is another part of the improvements. You often see that in other websites where you have in the navbar a little bell icon or things like that that tells you kind of notifications to the users. So we can provide that to our users as well. So this is going to be pretty cool. Apart from that, let me see here. We have launched our party chat feature. So you can see the little chat button here in the games, and that's a really cool little feature where if you start a party chat with your group, you will be you will have a private thread in the forums with anyone in the game that was invited, automatically managed, always added or removed as people leave and join a game. It lets you, chat with the rest of the players in an asynchronous manner, like in the middle of the week, not within the game session itself. And it will automatically send emails to everybody. So if you need to reschedule a game, for example, you can just write it here and everyone gets an email telling them about the post that you sent, that, hey, I want to reschedule or whatever. So you can, keep your loot log here or things like that, game summaries. So it's really cool. Party chat, and you can enable that in each of your worlds, each of your games. And you can also just destroy it if you want to close that chat. So there it is. It's really cool. Very happy with that feature. It was one of the features implemented by Phi, and he did a great job with that. And yeah, that was one of the new features as well. That was something that, if I remember correctly, I had the idea very early on, but it was never particularly a priority. But I did all the research on how it should be done, but then never implemented it. And then I managed to just give that to Phi and say, hey, here's the research I did. Please take care of it. And he did an excellent job with it. So I'm happy to see, some of those early ideas that I had come to fruition. And I hope that people are using that feature and enjoying it as well. And then a major update this year is the save points feature. Give me a second. I just seen some chat here in Twitch. I don't think false one big long post can speak for everyone. Challenging on the party. Email at this point was full. Our mentioned chat in Discord. Didn't know about the email feature. What kind of research I had to do? Oh, it was mostly about the APIs, how to integrate with the forums, basically, how to create a private thread, how to synchronize, adding users to it, how to remove users, how to like all of that. Some of the APIs were documented, but not all. So I had to kind of reverse engineer. If you're basically in the forums itself and you do a create new thread, or maybe not a thread, but like a new private message, how it works, where's the right? So new message and how to invite users to it and things like that. I had to reverse engineer how that actually worked behind the scenes to be able to document it, because it was not documented as part of the
forum's API documentation. So I had that documentation written on our side, but it was just never used. So because that's the cool thing, right? If you were in a game and you click the leave, configure players, this is basically we only have one, but let's say I was to have another player join, then they automatically get added to this private thread. And if I kick the player out or if they leave on their own, then they automatically also get removed from the private thread. So this is invited Kakaroto, removed Kakaroto. See, so this is basically what what it does. Um, so yeah, that's our party chat. And yeah, it sends emails. It doesn't send the emails immediately. It will actually just send it after I think 5 minutes. If the user is not in the chat. So if you're actually chatting with people, then they don't get spammed by emails because they're already reading the messages. And if they are not in the chat, they receive the first email, but they don't get spammed by every other message because they already are notified that, hey, there's new messages to read in there. So yeah, it's a really cool implementation that they've done, and we took advantage of that and integrated it with our own efforts. So yeah, going back to what I was talking about, the other huge feature that was in the works for a year and a half, I think, is the save points feature, which is just, I am in love with this feature. It's been something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I've worked very, very hard on it. Varstal also worked a lot on it, and he did an amazing job with regards to some of the backend functionality as well as the UI, just making this work. And it's really cool. So it's our exclusive world builder tier feature, save points. You can create save points for your games at any time, and it's really cool. So you have this one. You see there's some auto saves that happened. We have manual saves that we created as well. It's really nice. And you have you can just create a save point at any time, which takes a snapshot of your game as it is, so that you can revert or clone the world at a certain point in time, and it's really just super useful. And if we were to launch the game, it would tell us that, hey, you want to upgrade to V10, and if I say yes, it will take a snapshot just before the upgrade, which is also really useful. So if you make upgrades to your games, then you don't have to suffer through the possible risk of losing data because it wasn't saved. And a really cool feature is that even if you don't have save points, if you didn't enable the autosave or anything like that, or even if you're not on World Builder, right? You're just a game master or storyteller, something like that, but you lost data. Either you deleted a world or deleted some content in your world by mistake. You can always recover that data. So either you get our automatic backups that happen daily at a certain time, and you can say, okay, so I deleted my world, or not my world, but like I deleted the scenes yesterday, so let me just clone from yesterday, and then I'll recover my scene that way, or anything like that. Or even if you deleted the world, then you can always look for a deleted world from a specific date, and or even just recover a world from a save point. So you don't have that fear of losing any kind of data anymore, and that's great. So if you're on Game Master Storyteller, then you get access still to these daily backups that we take of everybody's games. And then if you just upgrade to World Builder, you'll be able to recover your deleted content automatically. And if you're on World Builder and you didn't enable autosave on a world, on a game, then you can still also recover from those daily backups at the same time, even if you didn't have any save points taken, which is really great. So no more scary loss of data possible, hopefully. But yeah, this was a huge, huge feature. It was one of our initial promised features from release date. So you can, not, yeah, like release date May 2020. So like over 2 years ago, I had promised that feature because it was something that I wanted to do, and getting it working the way I wanted it to work, the user friendliness, the ability to recover data that you might have lost without necessarily being, technically savvy on how, snapshots work or anything like super complex. It's just super intuitive, I believe. I'm super happy with how it turned out, and that shows in the amount of time it took us to get to this point. So yeah, that was a huge, huge update for 2022, and I think it is the update of 2022. Yeah. Apart from that, there's been just so many things that happened on the Forge throughout the year that obviously we can't list all of them, but yeah, lots of behind the scenes changes, and we've we're an ever evolving service, and we are the best service out there that you could imagine for hosting your games. And as I've always said, we are not a hosting provider for Foundry. We are a platform that is powered by Foundry VTT. So we give you really a full kind of service with all sorts of things to make your life easier. And I'm very happy with the work that we've done. And while we're here, I want to talk about some of the changes that happened just this month. There was UI polish for the save points feature. So you might have noticed before we had these images, the banners, all the way to the right. So if you were going to be looking for your your worlds, you were reading on the left, and then you had to move your eyes all the way to the right to see the banner image. So it was not super great, but this way, just moving it to the left just makes a big, big difference to the user experience here by making it so much easier to just parse your game list like that. We also added the ability to sort, so either sorting alphabetically your games or by number of save points on a game, or just the number, the last time that a game was played. So just being able to sort here is a big quality of life as well. Lets you find your games much more easily without necessarily having to search for it by name. In here, we also changed the way the timestamp shows. There was a bug where it was saying now always. The buttons here change. There's been quite a few small improvements to the UI. You see here now you can save, discard your changes instead of just being a little uncertain on how you would do it. You would click outside and then it would dismiss your changes instead of saving them. So there was a little bit of user confusion there that we hopefully fixed by making this little change here of these button appearing. The other change here is that you finally get to see your retentions, because someone might have noticed that if you went to the documentation, it was talking about the fact that we retain up to 200 save points for the autosaves. But now you can immediately see how many of these autosaves there are, but you can also see that manual saves are kept indefinitely. So you get that little indicator here, which is going to be really great to just keep an eye on some of these worlds. Do note that it will be able to go over 200. If in that case, you'll get a little notification telling you why. So we avoid that kind of user confusion again on why does it say 215 out of 200. The actual retention policies that the last 200s are always saved. And then we also save one for each month for the past 2 years, and then one for each year in the past 3 years. So you could have, let's say you take 200 saves, like you launch your game 200 times in the last month, then you'll have 200 last saves being kept from this month, but then you'll also have one for last month and one for 2 months before, etc. That's how you could get to like 250 or something like that. This is just to avoid someone maybe doing something wrong, their browser misbehaving, or I'm not sure, but just causing multiple saves to happen very quickly, and then they lose potentially a save point from 1 year ago that they might have wanted to keep. Right, so you get that one save per month at minimum for the last 2 years, which is great. So you get that all that information available to you at a glance, basically. Um, if you're on mobile, the UI will be better. There's polishing there. The buttons will be more clickable. There's all sorts of changes to the UI to just make that feature a little bit more polished, because we released it at a very good state, but there were very small little changes that we were not done with, and now we are. So we've pushed those. So I'm really happy with that. Now, I'll talk about another feature from our workshop. So if you go to the workshop, you'll see, so D&D Beyond integration is in beta, save points is now completed, live kit server is completed, etc., etc. Internationalization is about to move. I mean, this will work. Well, this should happen next week. I mean, we've made the change, I just didn't push it yet in production. But this is going to move all the way here in second place and move to beta status. So internationalization is now finally available. You cannot yet change your language to something other than English, but you will soon be able to see that little language option here in the menu and be able to select your language. We'll be providing French, German, Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, as well as Japanese as the languages that we will officially support. The website itself has been completely translated or internationalized. You'll be able to read more about it in our Translating the Forge blog post, which talks about the process that took us over a year now. I mean, we didn't think it would get this complicated, but it's incredibly complex to add internationalization to a website with the amount of content that the Forge has. The code base for the Forge is huge, and there's just so many things here, and so many frameworks being used, and just getting everything to work has been quite a challenge. But we are done on that front now, and we are moving towards the translation part. So this means that while the site can be changed from one language to another, we actually need to be translating the content to the other language. We've already started on it a little bit, and we are using this amazing project called Foundry Hub Weblate. This is a project by Foundry Hub. If you are not aware of Foundry Hub, then you should really be aware of what Foundry Hub is about. It's a really great community website around Foundry VTT. So definitely check it out. And the Foundry Hub Weblate is a way for people to contribute their translation to the Forge. So you'll be able to just go, for example, if you notice something incorrect in how the site has been translated, you can go and contribute and say, no, this should be phrased this way rather than that way. I can probably show you here, let's say French. And so if we go all strings here, so you can see all of the strings. So like password reset, here réinitialisation du mot de passe. So you can check this one, for example, and say, okay, it doesn't need editing because it's correct. And so it goes green now. And within 24 hours, we'll be receiving an update from Foundry Hub telling us, okay, here's the updated strings that have been translated by the translators. So you can check a bunch of these. Weblate is really great in the way that it works. We'll be spending more time with it. There are things that we could add a screenshot for context. We can do quite a bit of things to make the translator's job easier. We have already started with translating all of the website in these different languages through machine learning tools, and we're going to be continuing to basically review all of those translations to make sure that they are accurate, they're not, confusing. Because we've seen some really funny translations that were done by AI, and well, let me see if I can show you here. And if I switch the site to French, I believe I can do it manually. The Weblate instructions will tell you how to do this if you want. I can do it manually because we have not yet added the language selection here because it's not yet ready. We haven't reviewed all of the content. Like this, sauver des points for save points. This doesn't mean actual save points. It means like when you're collecting points to like in scoreboard. So it's not a good translation, but yeah, there it is. We have the support for Japanese as well, which is really nice. If you switch to this, then you see like the website suddenly in Japanese. And yeah, there's obviously a little bit of these need to be translated, so that's still missing, and we'll be taking care of that pretty soon. But that's what we're looking at basically. What is missing? What isn't? What's what needs to change? Is the gigabyte megabyte thing that need something that needs to be translated or not? Probably, because I know in French it's octets. So it would be an O instead of B. So we're looking at it and we're looking at what's missing and what isn't and where should we improve things, as well as actually changing um, the the translations so they are more accurate. So yeah, we highly recommend that if you want to help, if you want to provide your own contribution to the Forge, then you'd be able to do that by joining the Weblate Foundry Hub project and contributing anything that you can contribute to. If you notice anything, if you want to just switch to French, let's say, for example, right now, you can do it and then see, just use it, and you notice something that's incorrect, you can just go and make a suggestion for the string. Right? Oh, I would suggest this to be reworded this way, and then someone will be reviewing it and seeing what the suggestion is, and if it makes more sense than what the current translation is, etc. We discussed this a bit more here in the blog post, as well as I believe the Forge page. I'm not sure where that is. Let me see here. I think it's here. Yeah. So we explain some of that here. How to use plural support. Sometimes the sentence changes entirely between singular and plural. Sometimes you have a difference between singular or a couple, like two things and then three things and then more than four. That's where plural kicks in. So there's all sorts of rules like that needs to be taken into account. So yeah, check it out. So that was again another big update for the Forge. It's been, like I said, a little over a year. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a 1 month project, but it turned out to be way more complicated than that. And as you saw with the gigabyte thing, we still have things missing. We still have things that we did not catch, and we did the update like a couple of months ago that added the internationalization, but we've been noticing some little issues that crept up, and we've been fixing those. Now we're kind of in a good state now and ready to move forward. So, um, yeah, that's internationalization. Very hard word to say. Try saying it 10 times in a row. It's a challenge. Let's see. Did I miss saying anything about this before I get to the really big, beefy update that we had a couple of days ago? Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, that was about it. And thanks, yeah, Distracted DM. Localization is a lot more complicated than people think. Me being the first one to have underestimated that task. Yeah. All right. And now to talk about the. Let me just switch back to English, the website to English. Um, so if you follow our forums, you know that I post the changelog of our server updates, very detailed, always. And this was the update from 2 days ago, and it's a huge update. And that was kind of like the update of the month. Obviously, the Save Points UI, internationalization, there's all sorts of smaller changes here that happened. You know, various optimizations and things like that. But the biggest one is the D&D Beyond integration update. This was a culmination of many months of work again. So D&D Beyond integration, we started that quite a while ago, actually. Let me check the date on this one. April 2021. So about a year and a half ago, we released our D&D Beyond integration. There's been a few iterations of that happened throughout this 1 year and a half, but the biggest change, you see the update. We had 14 edits of this article, basically. Let me just show you, maybe. So this was the last update, and this is what we fixed. The big change. If basically content referencing a different book will not be correctly copied. So, for example, if you had an NPC that uses spells, in an adventure, that if that spell is not part of the adventure itself, or the rule book itself, then that spell would not be added to the monster. So this caused, like Curse of Strahd, to have its own monster, Strahd von Zarovich, without any spells, because all of the spells that Strahd knows are part of the basic rules or the PHB, Player's Handbook. And obviously, having a Strahd character without spells is not great. But also, having a Curse of Strahd adventure without any vampires in it, or wolves, is not great either, because vampire and wolf are monsters from the monster manual or the basic rules, right? So that was obviously a big problem, that we couldn't import these contents that were coming from different books. And this was a problem with the design of the converter and how the conversion happens, because of both security and also the abstraction of the import in order to be compliant with copyright law and things like that. So we don't we don't have access to that content unless we download it on behalf of the user. So there was a huge challenge that took a very long time to push through, and finally we've had the new design, the new solution to fixing the problem, and we did. And we've been working on that for a while now, and finally being able to release that to the masses has been a huge achievement, and I'm so happy to have been able to do that before the end of the year. And now if you import a any adventure, any rulebook, if you have access to the content that it references, then you're able to automatically import that content at the same time. So let's say, I mean, I can, let me just close some of these here. I'm gonna reopen the changelog here. So if you go to, D&D Beyond, for its integration here, and then you import Curse of Strahd. Let's import Curse of Strahd here as a world. All right. So it's going to import it, and as it's doing the import, right? So it's downloading from D&D Beyond. It's uploading content from Curse of Strahd to your assets library. Downloading reference dependency content. That's a new thing, and this is able to do that and basically just find any cross references, anything that it references, and it's already done. We have done so much work on optimizing it because it was getting really slow, like 2 minutes and more to do just the conversion of the data without the downloading, without the unzip, without any of the other stuff. Just converting the data to Foundry VTT format was taking like a minute. Or even 2 minutes, especially with the new tokenization feature that I'll be talking about in a second. And now it can actually do it in less than 2 seconds because of all the optimizations that we did. It's really nice. So yeah, there you go. Now if I go and launch, where's Curse of Strahd? There's Curse of Strahd. Hopefully I can launch it. I don't know if Destiny... Yeah, Destiny Grey is currently in the other live stream world. So I can't quite launch it. Destiny, would you mind... Whoops, there's Destiny. Whoop, again. Sorry, I am having a little bit of difficulty here. Destiny... I'm going to stop the server. And then launch this one. Hopefully that works. Because I think he's logged in as myself, so he's also... All right, he's gone. Okay, so I'm basically going to be launching this Curse of Strahd world that I just imported. If you have done the import of something like Curse of Strahd or any other content from D&D Beyond before, you'll have noticed that there was a lot of stuff missing, and now you'll be noticing the big difference right away. Let's see monsters. Oh, there's Assassin, Halberd, Acolyte, Animated Armor. You get all of the content. The Bat, the Badger, Draft Horse, Direwolf. You get all of these monsters automatically imported because they are being referenced in one scene or another, in one book or another, which is great. You can also see now referenced materials. So it's... Curse of Strahd is basically referencing basic rules, Dungeon Master's Guide, Player's Handbook, and the Monster Manual. So you see the hags, the Arcana Lot, these are all things that are referenced in the Monster Manual. So the hag is in the basic rules, but the hag's description mentions how it works in a coven, and that description is coming from the Monster Manual itself. So that gets imported there. The Player's Handbook is talking about, adventuring gear, for example. So that gets imported. Dungeon Master's Guide. There's all sorts of things. Oh, you have madness in Curse of Strahd, obviously. So the madness effects is coming from the Dungeon Master's Guide, and now it gets imported as well. And traps and things like that. So if you've played Curse of Strahd or DM'd it, you'll know what these are referring to. So this is really great, and it's been huge to get that working. Another big change is that now you get access to all of these. Magic items. Hey, here's the Sun Sword. Um, here's Saint Markovius Tybone. You have all of the um, magic items get imported, and it's not just the magic items from this adventure, but it's also anything that is referenced from the book. So not just like Yester Hill Axe, Mace of Terror, all of that, but let's say just Potion of Poison, Oil of Sharpness, or a chainmail. It's referenced somewhere, probably as loot, and from the journals, you'll get the chainmail link, and it will open the chainmail that got imported here as an armor, which is really great. You have vehicles, equipment pack. What's the Monster Hunters pack? You get all of these things. Obviously, all of the spells here as well are imported, and I see some are broken images. That's interesting. I'll have to check why that is. But yeah, you get all of that, which is a huge, huge improvement. It's a huge update that just adds so many different things. Let's go over them really quickly. As I mentioned, you redesigned the conversion process to allow this cross-reference between one book and another, such as Curse of Strahd to Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, and things like that. We have also added support for. Oh yeah, I did mention, in the monsters, if you look at Strahd now, they have their entire spell book, whereas this was completely empty before because all of those spells were coming from the basic rules or the PHB, not from Curse of Strahd book itself. Because of the way that we do our conversions, we couldn't access that information from a different book. Now they're all there, and they're all, available to you, which is great. One question that I may get asked is, what happens if I did not buy the Player's Handbook? If you didn't buy the Player's Handbook, you wouldn't be able to get these cross references, but I would say 95% of the things are in the basic rules. You'll have, I believe, in terms of spells, something like Crown of Madness would be from the Player's Handbook, not basic rules. So it wouldn't be imported. But I think in all of the spells that get imported, which is quite a bit, there are maybe 3 of them that are not automatically available. Basic rules is free, everybody has access to that. And if that was the case, you would still get Crown of Madness, you would just not get the full description. Same thing with the monsters. You would get some of the monsters' stats, so the hit points, their armor class, you'd get their senses, the languages they talk, immunities, some of their skills, but you would not get the biography, for example. You would not get the what features they have or which spells they have. Instead, in the biography, you would see that it says that you don't have access to this monster, and you'll have a link there that you can click to buy the monster manual or Tasha's Cauldron of Everything or whatever book actually contains the full details of that thing. But you still get basically a what I call a skeleton monster, skeleton actor, a skeleton spell, a skeleton item. You can still get those content imported with just the basic information that you need. So it's still usable. It's just not the full detailed of it. But it should relatively be rare, generally speaking. I'd say most things are in the basic rules that is available for free for everybody, and if they're not, they're in the PHB or Monster Manual, and that's mostly it. Most of the cross references are going to be for things that are optional or if you're the yawning portal, it's referencing from the sunless citadel, it's referencing the forge of fury, as you can probably play this one next, or things like that. That's generally what I found as these different cross references. But yeah, apart from that, we are now creating tokens. Yeah, so hopefully there's no spoilers here, or actually, but yeah. So you have, whoops, I should disable my mouse thing, and it's broken. Give me a second. Just going to disable this. But yeah, you see the tokens now are there and they're linked properly. Um, I am actually going to go back and show you Lost Mine of Fenliver now, which we've also imported. Lost Mine of Fenliver. Oh, this is a nice little thing that we recently added. So as you get to upgrade a world, if you did not export, it automatically exports it for you and warns you about, hey, we told you to update to export your world before upgrading. Why haven't you? Now I'll do it for you because you're not listening to me. This was an idea that someone had, and it was an absolutely great idea, because some people just see the upgrade button and they click it and they don't realize that they probably should have kept a backup of their world. And then they have the issue of, I went to V10 and I didn't take a backup. Now I have a problem. Now we can tell them, just check your downloads folder. You will have a zip file in there. Even if you didn't click it, we just did it for you and forced you to download a backup of your world. So this is really great. And if I go back to our save points here, and just look for what was it, Lost Mine, right? Now we have autosave before upgrading to V10. There's a save automatically here before the upgrade. So if you have World Builder, it will also take a save point, which you can move from one computer to another. The save point will always be there, which is great. But if you're not on World Builder, you don't need to necessarily lose that chance. You have your backup in your local folder that was downloaded for you, which is great. So yeah, I'm seeing in chat Zayedin saying no spoilers for Curse of Strahd. Yes, I'm trying, but now I kind of have to do spoilers for Lost Mine of Fenliver. So let's just go with the Kragma hideout, the first scene here. Okay, so you see goblins, there they are. You can see how we've done these tokens around them, and it's really nice. The wolves have their nice little token here. The goblins, the hobgoblins, all the tokens are there. That's Sildar and Ymik, of course. So you have all of that, and it's awesome. You get, oh, this one is hidden, but you get all of the tokens placed, all of them linked to the right character sheet as well. You can see all of the monsters are here, and token placement is there, which is great. It's awesome. What else? So extraction of notes. Right. So let's see here. Oh yeah, there you go. There's notes. Here's the kennel. Here's the cave mouth. So you get these notes, all of them, from all of the stuff. And what we've done is that we create these journal notes folder where it has just extracted the journal note that's referenced. Because technically, if you go to the Kragma hideout, they're all like little sections inside of this big page. And so since we can't just link directly to this place in the journal, we are extracting it in its own journal entry and then linking to it directly, which works really good. Um, what else do we have? Generating magic items, weapons, armors, adventure gear. I mentioned that. Feats, races, organizations as well. I don't know if we have any of that here. Whoops. Uh, Not with Lost Mine. I believe organizations. I can actually just give me a second here. Ravnica. Yes, I did import it. So let's just enable the module, and you'll see the because Ravnica has some organizations. So we did do an update to the compendium um, library as well. Now you can import the entire book, basically. And there's a bunch of updates. So adventuring gear, spells, magic items. So there's all sorts of magic items, of course, in Ravnica. You also have organizations, so you can see your various organizations here that are available. Races, so goblin, all of that, centaur. So you get all of that information right here, which is great. What else? Creating journal entries to explain basic rules. So, oh yeah, that's a good one. Reference material. I think it's put into the basic rules. But yeah, like acrobatics, persuasion, poisoned. So if you see some monster that says, "Oh, you get like the enemy gets poisoned," it will link to this that explains what poisoned actually means. There's a lot of things like that, small changes. Um, Placing tiles on scenes. This is a good one. I want to show you that one. Hopefully, I remember. I think the Critical Role Adventure had that. This is part of the metadata that Mr. Primate with his own importer is working on, and we are also using the same metadata. And let's do Critical Role Call of the Netherdeep. So let's convert this world here. I'll check the Twitch chat in the meantime. I'm not sure when it was rolled out. I think it was last month or so, but I really like how we have loading bars now when we load our worlds. Yes, I think it was a little over a month ago. But yeah, it's been something that is a small quality of life improvement. I was talking earlier about how we decided to just kind of do small improvements like that to the website to improve the user experience. This one was a very small one that had a tremendous amount of feedback from our users of loving it. To be honest, I'm not sure if it was a Forge feature or Foundry at this point. It is a Forge feature. That's we did the Forge logo and the green and all of that just to make it very visible to users. This is a Forge thing. It's not part of the core. But yeah. Question: is there a way to easily export an adventure to give to my friend, which will include the actual media? We are both using the Forge. The worlds that you have on the Forge will be using your assets library. They will work. The friend does not need to have the media on their own assets library for it to work. It will just work. The issue is if you delete that media, then they'll have that issue of missing links, basically. But we do have tools. If you go to our documentation, you will have tools to backing up your assets library, and it will be able to, the synchronization tool will create that automatically. It will relink those links from your assets library to a local file and things like that. It's able to do all that. Does that include custom assets, not SRD items and so? Yeah, I mean it's a URL, right? So if I look here at this page, it's a URL, assets.forgevtt, and then you have your user ID here, and it's a path D&D Beyond, etc. and it's a URL. If you open it, then it will work, whether it's in your game or your friend's game, or even in your self-hosted local foundry, it will continue to work because it's just a link to an image. So that's not a problem. Um, and that's one of the forces. One of the advantages that we have with the Fort is that you're able to do backups and copies and exports and clones of your worlds in very minimal amount of space. That's why I had my export here from that adventure, and it didn't take much space from me. It's actually, let me check that. It was an 800 kilobyte export. It's an 800 kilobyte zip. Whereas if it included all the media, it would be big. It would be, unwieldy every time everyone needs to do a backup or a clone, or you don't want to increase your storage every time you clone your worlds, etc. So that's why the assets library separates all that data from the actual world database. But its links, they'll work. That's the big cool thing here. So let me see. Hopefully, I mean this just might be a spoiler. So if you don't want to get spoiled about the Call of the Netherdeep, don't look. But the Emerald Grotto, I know that there are tiles in this one, so you can see here. Nice thing. You don't notice anything. I mean, you have the text, you have, which is really cool as well, right? If I switch to I mean, it's all walled as well. Obviously, I should have shown that in the other one. But if I look at tiles, see, there's a tile here. There's a tile here, and there's a tile here. Why? What is this tile doing? Let me unlock it and move it out. Oh, there was in the original image, there was a path. You see, this is just hiding that path. So that's because the original player version of the uh, of the map uh, had these spoilers basically, that should not have been there. But you just add these little blob of blue, and it just hides them completely, you know, and it's invisible to the users, to the players, which is great. Now they don't have this spoiler path here that doesn't need to be there for them. So that's what the tile support is coming from. You'll find a few of these in some worlds, others not. But yeah, some worlds will have that when it's necessary. You have, of course, light support, walls, tiles, um, journal notes, and tokens, of course. So it's a full scene, it's a full adventure, and it's super awesome. Very happy with that. Obviously, this worked with the tiles. We added the support to being able to add the tiles, but the actual tiles and their placements and the drawings with the text here, their placement, the walls, all of that is work done by the metadata project, which is a great project that was heralded by Mr. Primate. And we are using this data as well. It's all open source, and we are contributing with a redesign in how it's going to be used for the long term, allowing us to do things like adding a credits journal entry, adding all sorts of things like custom roll tables and things like that, which will be really good for the long term of that project. So, yeah, this is another one of the big changes that happened. It took months of work from Arcanist as well, who did the transformation of the metadata project from individual JSON files into actual modules for the data, which is really great. And we are now switched to that new form of data. What else can I talk about? There's just so much. I'll just tell you, go check the update changelog and see all of the things that we changed. The shared horde metadata project is the one that we're talking about. Yeah, if you look also at the tokens, you notice the token frame. That's really nice. We have, let me see here. If you go to the D&D Beyond now, it used to be 0.2.0 for everything. Now it's zero point 0.3, but you also get 23 here, 20, 19. So if the Dungeon Master's Guide book changes by D&D Beyond, then this automatically becomes 0.3.20. So it's basically this last number is the version number of the book provided by D&D Beyond. So this will help us long term as we will be able to tell you, hey, there's been an update to the player's handbook. You should update your module and things like that. So that's really great. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of the big change with the D&D Beyond update. There's lots of smaller things, obviously. There's lots of stuff that you can go look at. Now, the next steps really are going to be fixing monsters, whereas you could look at potentially a monster. Let me just go back to this thing. And, you know, in theory, it should be perfect, but it might not, right? If we look, let's say, at the air elemental, strength, dexterity, this is all good. Hit points, it's all good. Features, so see here, this is what I was talking about. It should just say slam. It shouldn't say slam dot melee weapon attack semicolon. This is the little bugs that I was talking about. We need to clean that up and fix it. We are already aware of this one, so it's already going to be worked on. But yeah, that's one of the things that needs to happen. Whoops. Apart from that, maybe you have the same issue with some spells that maybe the spell isn't doing the right amount of damage. Maybe it's, let's say cure wounds. Okay, it does say 1d8 plus modifier healing. Perhaps it should say, maybe, it would have not said healing. Maybe it would have said none. This would have been a bug, obviously. It's not the case here, but there's things like that. I know that right now, one of the things with spells is that if you have a monster that has both regular spell casting as well as innate spell casting, then the spells will that are innate won't be set as being, innate spellcasting. That's how they should be set, and this is not being done right now. So this is one of the bugs that we need to be looking at and fixing. As you can see here, also with the light, the image for some reason is broken. Not sure why. Explosion star, blue, yellow, small. This should be explosion star. Oh, it's small blue yellow, not blue yellow small. Right, so that's why. So there's typos like that that we'll be fixing. Apart from that, there's also you have the spells, you have the monsters, you have the armor. Let's say chainmail, we just put the description. We're not setting whether it's light or medium or heavy armor. We're not setting what the required strength is, what the armor class is. We're not setting those. Weapons is the same thing. We just said it. It's a weapon, but is it simple? Is it martial? Is it ranged? Is it whatever? What kind of properties does it have? What's your, damages? We are not setting those yet. Same thing with magic items, etc. So right now, all of the items here are just missing the fields, the information. It just sets the description and that's it. So we need to fix that. We need to add support for roll tables because we don't have any rollable table right now, but we should be able to, and things of that sort. So that's like all of the little polishing on the D&D Beyond integration. So now would be the time to ask everybody if you have any feedback, if you find any issues, if you see that a monster is not defined the same way as the stat block says it should. So if you find any bugs in the conversion of the data itself, now is the time to let us know. There's the D&D Beyond integration forum thread would be a great place to let us know about those issues, or you can also come to our Discord and let us know about that. That's kind of it. That's the the limitations that we currently have, and we're going to get those fixed. It will be a little bit tedious, and it will take some time to go through that and make sure that every monster, every spell, every item is set correctly. Like also, classes, class features, being able to add the advancements, so you get your advancements automatically. That would be great as well. That's all coming hopefully soon. So yeah, and that's it. I've been talking nonstop for an hour and a half almost. I need a little bit of water. Sorry. So, yeah, this was a huge, huge update from 2 days ago. And I'm super proud to be presenting it to you today. And I'm super proud of the team also. They've done an amazing work getting all of those features, all of those polishes, all of those um, things out on time as well for the update that we had. So thanks to the team, and thanks to everybody as well for giving us our trust and beta testing the D&D Beyond integration and providing feedback when necessary and things like that. So thanks everybody. And that's it for me. Now, what we're going to be doing is the Bizarre Showcase. So I'll be giving Leon the chance to show you a couple of cool bizarre packages that are definitely worth checking out. And once we do, we'll be coming back with with our giveaway. So while we'll be talking about these bizarre showcases, now would be the time for you to post in chat hashtag Happy Holidays. So I am going to need to post that announcement here. Give me a second if you wouldn't mind. But I think the giveaway is now open. Is it? I'm
It's
not
saying chat.
seeing. I just heard you.
Yep.
No, I'm not actually seeing the giveaway in Moobot.
It, it should be live already.
Be live. I don't
Here,
know.
let
I'm
me.
not seeing it. Oh, of course, because I'm logged in as my own user, not as the Forge Twitch account. That's why.
Yeah, here I can.
Right, so just click on announcing it in chat so people see the hashtag and all of that. I'll be logging in as the correct Twitch account in order to manage the Moobot. All right, so it's hashtag Happy Holidays, and you can all type that, and you'll be entered into our giveaway, $20 gift card for the Forge, and we'll be drawing the winner after the Bazaar presentation. Give me a second to switch my OBS to the Discord scene, and Leon, you are live.
Very good. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you hear me fine, boss?
I can hear you, yeah.
Sounds good. All right. Let me just go ahead and share my screen, and we will
Mhm.
share the live stream world. All right. All right. You should be able to pull it up there. Oh yeah. Okay. Sure. Uh, all right.
Little louder. Let me see if I can do it from my side. It's already max volume. Let me see if I can do it on Discord itself. Yeah, I've boosted you to 200% in Discord. Say something so we can see what happens.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Is there any music in the game?
No music. No.
All right.
Very well. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Bazaar Showcase. Today, we'll be showcasing 3 packages on the Bazaar. We'll be showing off A Jungle Part 3 by Vic Nadell, The Dwarven Throne Hall by Chan Peku, and then finally, a House Divided dice set by the Rollsmith. I have linked them all in chat. Heavily recommend checking them out. Forgot to grab the link for Jungle Part 3. But I will link that later once the Bazaar Showcase is done. Sorry about that. Uh,
Um,
we'll be
I'll do
starting.
that.
Thanks, Kakarado. So we start here. Chad and Peku are remarkable at creating maps, and this one is a doozer. Imagine your players have fought for multiple sessions, diving deeper and deeper into the crevices of the earth. The dwarves have dug remarkably further than anyone else, a reverse Tower of Babel into the bowels of darkness. And upon the deepest section, in his prideful self, the king of the dwarves built his dwarven throne here. But there are things more ancient in this earth than the dwarven people. Things older than even the earliest dwarves. Things so terrible that they transcend good and evil. And now, deep beneath the earth, your players must confront the bearish brushed against these ancient things. These things that have laid waste to all of the dwarven people. That's just an example of one such adventure you can make out of this map. You can see here that it's magnificently large. This is a single medium-sized token, 1 grid square by 1 grid square, walking through dazzling crystals that sparkle upon the stone. Just slowly walking up, seeing the full breadth of the dwarven throne facing them from up above. Slowly walking towards the throne. It's like so many of the Chen Peku maps look like something you want to have for a big bad evil guy in an adventure. It's a beautiful piece of art, and they've done care to make sure there's even dynamic lighting for the map. Like, gosh, imagine the dice you're rolling on in here. Like,
I can immediately recognize the Chanpeku art style, which is amazing.
right? It's
Yeah.
really good, and they're always good at making very distinctive art. And of course, like all Chen Peku maps, they have varieties. Let's show, for instance, the red version of it. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Look at how that red
Wow.
reflects off of everything. The sparkle of the lava just oozing down there, animated while these goat heads are just glaring down upon you. Already immediately a very distinct aesthetic. There's even those angry looking dwarves.
I can tell you right now that if I was playing this, I would be setting um a trigger so that as soon as you're like on the bridge, it changes the background image from that blue one to the red one. Because you should not have crossed that bridge.
That's a great idea. I wish I hadn't already blown this map in one of my. No, you can still enter distracted DM. Just type hashtag Happy Holidays or # Happy Holidays if you're old like me.
Hashtag.
Uh,
Nope.
right.
Definitely, you are still open to it.
So yeah, and this is one of those packages you can buy with that Forge gift card, and it's only like it's just incredible. And I wish I hadn't blown this map already in one of my other campaigns, but it was a hell of a good literally hellish as the players navigated into this area. I depicted it as touching against that world's version of hell, you know? It's such a good, beautiful map. There's so much distance, so if you want to throw a caster and be mean because they will outdistance most of your players, you can, and it's a good way of getting free and easy damage. Just my little piece there.
You're evil.
Right. And best of all, this is only $5 on the Bazaar Marketplace. $5, and you can get some high quality maps that make up one of the best BBAG maps you could ever have. If you're looking for a great campaign finale or a good arc finale map, this is the map for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really awesome. I can definitely see a lich up there with his two golems to each side there of the throne. I assume it's golems, ram golems. Is there such a thing? There is now. Dwarven ram. I don't know. They look really cool.
And you might have noticed me rolling some dice. Well,
Mm-hmm.
let's just roll about 5d20 at once. Pretty nice glow, right? Very deep red, inset with that beautiful, beautiful glow. But let's go ahead and go back to this scene. Let's say you're running a winter map, and /roll 5d20 here. Look at that. It's glowing blue, but it's the same dice set.
Nice.
This is where I am happy to show off the latest package by the Rulesmith, a house divided dice set. These dice were created for Foundry VTT's most recent adventure, A House Divided, a gothic horror campaign that is massive. It's gigantic. If it was put on print, it would make up hundreds and hundreds of pages.
I
And there
heard
are
600 pages.
I can't
If
even
it
put a
if
number to
it
it.
was on print, yeah.
But it's massive. Imagine setting forth a gigantic map that just like they've set up so many maps in that adventure, and there's even it's so big that the Rollsmith is making a die set for it. You could run a very long campaign in A House Divided. I have no clue how long and how many man hours that must have taken them, but we're showing off the Rollsmith's die set today, so I can't get nerd sniped on this. So these dice are great, just plain like let's go for instance to this map, which I'll be showing off some more later. But like you can see here that they're green here. Oh my gosh, that is shiny. And it's as simple as you can get some plain dice. Like let's create a new scene. New scene. And we'll just go ahead and activate it. So there's nothing here. /R 3D20, 3D30, whatever. Oops, wrong one. It has to be an existing dice. So it's gold and black by default. But let's say you want to customize these dice. The Rollsmith lets you do that. First, all you do is activate the module. Once you have done so, then you name a folder glow. So just a space, parentheses, and then glow. And it will mimic the glow of the folder that the scene is in. So if you're running an arc of adventures and you want, for instance, say you're running a winter arc where the players are battling through the cold to like solve a mystery or pursue some mysterious monster or beast. All you have to do is color that arc's folders appropriately, add glow to the title as I have done here, and then set the dice to use the Rollsmith dice. Then you just do /RD20 and look at that. The colors automatically translate to whatever color the folders are. Just an incredible, easy to customize, easy to add feature for the user coming out of the Rollsmith. The Rollsmith is one of those creators that impress me because there's not a lot of creators doing stuff like they do. But they're still not resting on their laurels, and they're still putting out cool innovations like this. It's just awesome, and I love it.
That's really nice. I didn't even realize that you could do things like that, but obviously with JDW doing the work there, being able to customize the dice in that way is brilliant.
Best of all, this package is only $5.99 on the Bazaar Marketplace. So if you're looking for a really nice dice set that you can custom tailor to each and every one of your arcs, this is the one to do it on. But now we will move on to our last package for today, and that's where we reject modernity, return to wilderness, and return to monkey. We're showing off an asset package today. One that I showed earlier. This is Jungle Part 3 by Vic Nadell. He's a relatively new creator to the Bazaar Marketplace, but he already has quite a bit of art uploaded. This is an example map he created on the fly from one of his asset packages. He made it using parts 1 through 4, and it looks beautiful. Like, look at these vibrant, bright colors. And a lot of it's token art, like most of it is, in fact. So you get these cool, interesting tokens that don't really try to mimic a lot of existing monsters. Instead, they put interesting twists. For instance, monkey pirates, or you get a double-headed snake, stuff like that. And it blends in so well. So you could do something like you could put together a nice big jungle map, have these monkey golems as a token, like this one that I'm showing here, and then as a tile, and then like your players are exploring and they investigate the statue, and then you suddenly reveal that these tiles, you hide the tile and then you reveal the token, and suddenly you get a beautiful surprise encounter that your players definitely did not see coming. Let me show off some of the art here from the tile set. So we get here, we can go to the Bazaar assets. We can go to Jungle Set Part 3. Like, look, like we get some spiders here. We get a colorful dinosaur. We get a tiger. Like, let's put it down this tiger. Look at that. I like how runty looking he is. He'd be cute if he wasn't going to eat your face, you know, boss?
Yeah, I know.
You get a gorilla, and these are big tokens too. So like, look at their resolution. You can like enlarge, reduce them without a worry. And then you get actual monsters here, of course. Like you can get a jaguar tribesman. You get a very spooky looking guy that looks a lot like a certain Watsy creature. You even get, best of all, a giant slug. Every adventure needs a giant slug, chat. If you ever look at medieval art, you get giant slugs everywhere. And I think you're only being accurate to medieval fantasy if you include a giant slug. It's just a good amount of original, weird, cool art that you don't see elsewhere. Like
Yeah.
Vic Nadell puts a unique twist, a unique flair on their art that I just love, and I'm definitely going to use their asset packages just to guide an adventure. There's just some art out there that you look at and you think, I'm not going to use this for an adventure. I'm going to create an adventure out of this art. Oops, accidentally
You need help using Chrome?
apparently. I accidentally pressed the wrong function button. Uh, uh So, big recommend for Vic Nadell. He has 4 of these packs in total. So, if you're looking for some art to use for a jungle, definitely check him out. And if you're running an astral type campaign, he had some very interesting astral type art where you could have ships in space, and he made monsters to man those ships that I would recommend checking it out. This asset package is only $5 on the Bazaar Marketplace. If you win our Forge gift card and you're in a place lucky enough not to get charged tax, you can buy 4 of these. The entire Jungle series. That's it from me
Nice.
today. Uh,
All right.
I hope that you guys enjoyed the Bazaar showcase, and I'll turn it back over to the boss man.
All right. Thank you very much. And let's switch back to this thing here. There you go. And we're back. All right. So let's do the giveaway, right? If anyone is here and has not participated, you still have a few seconds to quickly do hashtag Happy Holidays in order to enter our giveaway for a $20 gift card to be used either for your subscription on the Forge or for buying content from the Bazaar or giving it to your DM, or even buy a gift card with it. So you could use $5 off of it and then give a $15 gift card to someone else from that. That's definitely something you can do. I'm seeing Japes42 who did not write it properly, so you were not entered. You can re-enter it, but just copy and paste the hashtag Happy Holidays without the quote, I think. Alright. And I believe that's it. Yep. Alright, so we have 10 entrants. I will now draw. Let me actually show it to you. So we'll do this live with everybody. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. And Blue Acoustic Music is the winner. He did last entry. There you go. Blue Acoustic Music is here, and he is claiming the gift card.
thank you for participating, and that's awesome. Thanks. Destiny will be creating the gift card and sending it to you shortly. Um, awesome. Congratulations. All right. Um, and now I believe we are in the last part of the stream, which is what everyone has been waiting for, hopefully. The Q&A portion. Um, Basically, if you have any questions for me, if there's anything that you wanted to ask, whether about this update, about the year, about anything else, now is the perfect time to ask. So, um, give me a second. We have a Q&A. There you go, with the chat. All right. So yeah, congratulations again. Blue acoustic music for the win. Now, who has any questions for me? Questions. All right. Let me see if there were anything asked previously in chat that I missed. Phalanx adding Dwarven Siege Ram Golems to the next session. Yep, that's always a good idea. You cannot go wrong with that. Big Al Gaming 1 just arrived, and you mostly missed the the stream. It will be available in VOD. We'll be posting it on YouTube as well, so you can either watch it on Twitch later or via our YouTube channel. Yeah, now we are at the Q&A portion. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Right. Oh yeah, Destiny did mention earlier, and I didn't see it, is that the D&D Beyond has Lost Mine of Fendelver for free, as well as the Frozen Sick adventure, and the basic rules, of course. So if you are a D&D Beyond account user, whether you are subscribed to D&D Beyond or whether you have bought anything on D&D Beyond, everybody has access for free to basic rules, Frozen Sick, and Lost Mine of Vandelver. And those 3 items, so 2 adventures and 1 rulebook, are also available for free on the Forge with our conversion. So even if you are not a patron, you're not part of the beta program, you can still use those to import Lost Mine of Fendelver or Frozen Sick or the basic rules to have them in your account without any extra subscription, without anything. So yeah, definitely check it out. Lost Mine of Fendelver, Frozen Sick, and basic rules. Let's see. Is there a way to easily? Oh yeah, I did answer that. Okay. So holiday plans. That's actually a good question. I did want to mention that and I forgot. Yeah. So right now, basically, I am doing this live stream, and then I have a couple of messages to send to some people, and that's gonna be it for me until 2023. Hopefully. I will probably be working because I can't seem to stop working and people keep asking me to do stuff, but that's the plan. My plan is to take the next 2 weeks off basically as a way to rest. It has been a very hard year, and I'm feeling, that exhaustion, not just creeping in, but just like settling. So taking the time to rest is very important, and I will be doing that. Um, in terms of actual plans, other than resting, I haven't really made any plans. Um, I was hoping to travel, but I don't think I will because I think that will potentially tire me even more. I do plan on traveling maybe in January, maybe February, um, just as a second smaller little sort of vacation. But for this holiday season, I just want to rest at home and just breathing a little bit and take it easy. Big Al Gaming. Is there the Mad Mage world in Forge? I saw some adventures before switching scenes. Um, Mad Mage worlds. Well, we don't actually have that on the Forge per se. Let me switch to the screen again. Um, so we don't have like the Mad Mage. We are not Wizards of the Coast. We're not licensed sellers of that content, but we do have an integration with D&D Beyond where it will basically be able to import Dungeon of the Mad Mage directly from D&D Beyond for you. So you authorize the Forge to basically download the content from D&D Beyond on your behalf. You need to have purchased that on D&D Beyond, otherwise, we can't download it for you. And once you do, it will basically download it. It will upload any assets that were in that book to your assets library. Then it will convert it from the D&D Beyond format to the Foundry VTT format. And once it does, you'll be able to just go ahead and access that content in your Forge. And this is our D&D Beyond integration that has been released for about a year and a half. And 2 days ago, we had a huge update for it, which is what most of today's stream has been about. I spoke about that for almost an hour, I think. But yeah, so here's Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and you'll be able to check it out. I'm not going to repeat everything I just said, obviously, but just showing you quickly a bit of that while we wait for another question. But yeah, that can most definitely cut down many, many, many hours of prep time that you would have had to do if you did it manually. Yeah. Have to upload everything. You have all the books. Cool. Yeah. You'll be able to do them. Well, one at a time, obviously, but yeah, you should be able to, get, hey, there's all the scenes. Not going to, let's avoid spoilering anything. Let's go with level 1. There's all the monsters that are there. You have all the walls. If there's any lights, there's some lights there. There's tokens. There's all the stuff that you might need. Magic items. Yeah. Right. It is a very good point that Phalanx brings up. If you go to the D&D Beyond integration thing, I mean, you can access that straight from the Bazaar, right? It's for more information, click here. It does mention the spreadsheet that will give you kind of which book is converted to what level, basically. So if I was to, how do you filter stuff? I don't know how to use Google Docs, but Dungeon of the Mad Mage, did I skip it? There you go. So, yeah, the level 1, which I just showed, is the one that's pretty much done, ready to import, but the others aren't. So that's worth knowing, definitely. Unless, this is not up to date, but I would assume that it's up to date. But yeah. Yeah, Arcanist is confirming only the first level has the metadata. Okay. Yeah, it will still definitely cut a lot of that prep time. I mean, the important part obviously is the walls, the light, the tokens, all of that. You'll have that for the first level. You won't have it for the others, but you still have all of the monsters, all of the magic items, obviously, all of the book, basically the contents, and all of that stuff will be imported and available to you. Any reference
stuff. Oh, so apparently it's referencing things from Storm King's Thunder and Out of the Abyss. But yeah, it's referencing other books, so you'll get access to all of that. It's yeah. Any other questions? Questions. Oops, switched to the wrong one. There you go. All right. All right. So if nobody else has any other questions for me, then we can conclude our stream. And I'm just gonna finish by saying to everybody to enjoy the holidays. Hopefully, everybody has some vacation planned, um, something nice for the holidays, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, or any other religious or non-religious reasons to celebrate. Happy holidays in general for everybody, but also Happy New Year because we won't be seeing you until next year. So Happy New Year as well. And I just wish everybody a great 2023. Hopefully, it will be better than the last couple of years we've had. And I wish health and happiness to everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for just, you know, the trust that you've given us and the amazing love and everything. I mean, we have such an amazing community. So thank you all for being part of that community. And that's it for me. Um, I'm going to go rest and start my vacation. I guess in an hour, something like that. But, anyways, thank you and see you next year. Cheers.